Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Vedyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadetamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pray. Devotion has two sides to it. One aspect of devotion is recognition of ignorance, leading to the mind surrendering. Now, the vastness of ignorance you should recognize. When you understand, you try to understand life in its totality, we understand how vast it is. So many areas we are not clear about. So much of gaps, so much of ignorance. So it is impossible that we are going to be covering the entire ground. Individually, also collectively. Collectively, as human beings, can we understand that? Not possible. If individually, one person is not possible, sir, can we do it collectively as human species? Even then we cannot. We cannot conceive the vastness of life. When your intellect recognizes that, automatically the mind surrenders. Now, immediately we start asking the question that surrendering to whom? Now, it's nothing to do with whom. Don't immediately move to that side. It is that willingness to surrender. That's about it. It surrenders to your ignorance. You bow down to your ignorance and say, I'm not able to. You understand your incapacitation to break through that ignorance, the thickness of it, the dense of it, the density of ignorance. You can't penetrate. To that, we take that idol, deity, as a representation. That is why the deities were given in darkness. The dark, black stone. The deities were all, inside the black room, black stone. Why? It's a representation. So when you see the deity, it's not the deity is going to come and bless you, protect you, take care of you, grant your things. That's not what you do there. When a true bhakta goes to a temple, he recognizes that, he sees that as a representation. Representing what? Representing my own ignorance. My own ignorance is so vast, so vast. It's impossible to penetrate. I can't penetrate that. There, you are in the mood of surrender. The capacity to stay for a longer period of time in that mood, in that frequency. That's called Bhakti. So for which, first requirement is recognizing that I don't know. I'm not able to. I cannot. None of us can. That recognition is the problem. Otherwise, the mark of your recognition, mark of your surrendering is the next step he is going to. Another dimension of bhakti. So first one, you have to recognize. Now don't ask me how are we to recognize our ignorance. You just have to go and stand in front of the mirror. That's all you need. Just look at yourself. Enough. You don't need anything more than that. Right? Look into any aspect. Any direction you look at. So it's not such a immediately. These are all techniques. Immediately people ask, sir, how are we to recognize our ignorance? Just look. That's all. You just have to see. When you look around, you understand it's all darkness. All around is darkness. Yeah. One side. Next dimension is this. Is the next one he is moving on to. It's just further development of that same idea, but it comes from a different turn it takes. It takes a turn. So you recognize ignorance. You are in that mood of surrender. This is one aspect. So keep it one side. And then you have to have the next one. When you have these two together, it's like Puran Poli. You make, the Purnam inside you have to prepare first, and then you make the dal they prepare, no? And you take a little in that, and then finish it. You add the two. You have only Purnam, then it is not tasty. You have only that, that dough you have, that is also not tasty. You have to mix both, like that. When you add these two, it is good. Page number 213. Third paragraph. It is time you examine the crevices in your personality. You know not where you come from. You know not the purpose of your sojourn in this world. Where and when you go from here. The day you are born, mother's milk is programmed for your sustenance. Your oxygen supply assured. Your temperature and pressure within maintained meticulously to this day. The atmospheric temperature and pressure outside maintained punctiliously for your survival. Your alimentary canal, respiratory organs, nervous system, and countless other functions service your personality day and night from birth to death. The unseen functions are confined to mere maintenance of beings. They extend further as a constant vigilance over any intrusion by predators. The moment a foreign matter enters your body or you bruise yourself, there is an instant release of forces within to mend the damage done to the body. You must realize the boundless benefaction lavished on beings. Hardly anyone is aware of it, much less grateful for what is received and enjoyed. To this vast realm of ignorance, of an unseen hand functioning, to surrender. An acute awareness of the infinite blessings showered everywhere, followed by gratitude, would constitute the fundamentals of devotion. Rated by 100. The sentence. An acute awareness of the infinite blessings showered everywhere, followed by gratitude, would constitute the fundamentals of devotion. Devotion, therefore, is to cognize the splash of divinity manifest in every being everywhere. To identify, merge with that omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent reality. The Upanishads in the Vedas have given humanity the highest ultimate philosophy, which takes you to the threshold of the supreme reality, Brahman. One of them, entitled Kenopanishad, wrote the staggering truth in 5 consecutive verses. That supreme reality, Brahman, is yourself within and not what you worship here in the world. Though the Upanishads are known for their brevity, their terse, cryptic language, it marvels in its profound explanation of God. God is the supreme omnipresence while he resides within as yourself. The self that enlivens your eyes to see, that enlivens your ears to hear, your limbs to function, mind to feel emotions, intellect to conceive thoughts. That is the supreme God, and not what people worship in the external world. Remember that, realize that. Now, what he is doing is giving the other side of Bhakti. Another dimension of Bhakti is you recognize your ignorance once, right? Also, you must have that capacity to recognize the benefaction, how much you are blessed with, for which you have not placed the order. You have not ordered all those things. It's just given to you on plate without you, asking for. It's fascinating to see for every creature, the food is ready. As soon as it is born. In fact, even before the birth, food is ready. It's not that after birth happened, we say, wait, we'll prepare and serve. Not like the lady in the house says. After you say, what is for dinner? Wait, I'll prepare and give. It's not like that. It's well in advance. And how many things have been taken care of? The design of everything. The design of the nerves. All sorts of wrong things you do, as a result of which is a clogs can happen. There's an obstruction to the blood flow, but still it adjusts. It creates a new path. If this gets blocked, the body automatically creates its own new path. It has that inbuilt thing. Now you see how the kidney's design is. Filtering system of kidney. It's not easy to understand that. How on earth someone would have. Imagine if you have to place an order for filter. What sort of a filter you would have ordered? Imagine you had stomach, your intestine, this one, that one, everything. Imagine it has to be happening only based on customized. It will be custom made, sir. As per you have signed the contract, only we will give you. So the entire responsibility is yours. What sort of a body you would have created? What sort of a world you would have created? It would be a mess, actually. In fact, you wouldn't have survived these years. It's the blessings. Forget about who has done that. That's not our point. The point is you are enjoying the benefits. That's all. And you have not ordered it. You have never paid for that also. And it is impossible for you to compensate, to pay. You can do anything. You can never compensate that. Like when you are invalid, incapacitated even to move. You dirty yourself. You can't even move. Someone has to come and clean. Right? How on earth you can repay for that? The moment you understand your ignorance, your incapacitation, the fat ego that I am a self-made person, that goes off. Along with that, you also recognize so much of benefit that you are enjoying. Yeah. You just eat to the brim, go to sleep. Whole thing is digested, and your stomach is cleaned, and next day it is ready to stuff in all nonsense. See how that is happening. Just to recognize that. It's like, every month some money is getting deposited in the account, and you are withdrawing that. You are spending that money for the last 65 years, 70 years, 40 years. You have been doing that. Every month it is deposit is not small amount. Not 1 rupee is being deposited every month. It's not like that. Every month you are getting the deposit of 1.5 crores. Minimum, lowest deposit. When you said, why you? And this fellow is withdrawing that. It's not that he has not updated the bank account or bank statement at all. I didn't see the bank statement at all. Then it is okay. He is withdrawing that money. He is spending that money. And he is not working. And this fellow says, you ask him, hey, from where you are able to spend, you are throwing parties here, party there, you are, going to this resort and you are enjoying that spa, this spa, haircut, this fellow is going to, only Taj, I'll go and have a haircut. Will not go to this local. That's why I used to say, I go to Taj to do haircut. Because that saloon shop is Taj. In this one in Krompet. I used to tell this college when you're going, we are all, we go to Taj for haircut, Say, it is that, like we are not 5-star. Say, hotel name is 5-star. That's all. It's not that it carries 5-star. It's a name they have. The same way, these fellows, you are enjoying that money, and will you not investigate from where that is coming? Who is sending that money to you? Okay, you may never know who is sending, because that person has told, anonymous, sir. They don't want to tell who that person is. Okay. To that person, should you not be grateful? Isn't it just that gratitude? If you cannot experience that, something is wrong. Yes. That recognition of benefaction, recognition of ignorance, surrender, recognition of enjoying the benefits, gratitude. With this, when you go to God, what is the hallmark of gratitude? You will not ask. You will not go there and ask. You will not go to the bank and ask, Why there is no increment, is it? Why for the last 65 years only 1.5 crores? Seventh pay commission is giving. No. Inflation has happened. So why not, make it to 2 crores? Because 60 years back, 1.5 crores is what today? There's nothing, sir. So proportionately, this also should have increased, no? If you go and ask, how that bank manager will look at you? That expectations, what you want, this destroys everything. It is sheer selfishness. It is sheer utter selfish. He says, drop that. These two dimensions defines bhakti. You should have the capacity to see ignorance, also understand your incapacitation to overcome that, plus you recognize the benefits that you are enjoying, and you can go on adding list. Now he's just giving few here. Now if he starts giving the entire list, another 24 volumes of encyclopedia we need to create. Right? So the text will never get over. So he just gives few points. It's fascinating to see that each one of this, all the benefits that you're enjoying, do you have that gratitude? With that gratitude, if you look at the deity, it's bhakti. Without this understanding and gratitude, you look at deity, you go to a deity, that's called attachment. That's all. And the mark of gratitude is what, sir? You will not ask. Instead, you will start serving. You will not ask for more. You will start serving more. You will not be having more and more of expectations. More and more of what I am getting, what I should be receiving. You will not be getting into that. Your expectations will not go. But in life, we have taken expectations as what? Like you say, what do you expect from your daughter? I don't have any expectation of my daughter. Say, immediately branded as what? Such an irresponsible father you are. Don't you care? You see, that's how we have started living life like that now. As though a person who is not having any expectations will be labeled as, he'll be called as an irresponsible fellow. Right? Why? Because expectations is part and parcel of any relationship. No. We can't live life without expecting. You cannot have any relationships. And the best part of this expectations is it's all hidden. Your expectations are not explicit. You don't bring your expectations to the table. You don't throw the cards on the table. You hide it. That's why there's no relationship at all. That's why there's no, people are not able to relate to each other. There's a lot of problem relationships today in the world. Why is that? Expectations. Because we are conditioned to believe expectations. You must have expectations. And same mind, with that same attitude, we go to God also. We go to God also with expectations. That's why we say one of the best relationships that you can ever have in life is the relationship of Guru and Sishya. Why is that? Because both don't have expectations from each other. Neither the Guru has any expectation from the Sishya, nor Shishya has any expectations from the Guru. They just go on. Now, what is this? It's just putting conditions, that's all. Expectation means what? Now, what is the meaning of expectation? You should not have any expectations in life. What's the meaning of that? Expectation means only this. Either you say something should happen, right? Or something I will get. It will come to me. Something should happen. Either something should be happening, or you say, this is what I am, but you can never accept. Like, philosophically we keep saying, no, life is unreal. All this is Maya, illusion. It's all we talk. But as soon as the class gets over, Hari Om, I'll see you next week in the class. You close the system and open that side, you go. Look, little that side, immediately what happens to that? All this life is, world is unreal, that is unreal, all gone. Why? Now, what gives from where you are experiencing that solidarity of reality to the relationships? What is giving that? Is your expectations. That's why you are scared to drop that expectations. You don't want to drop the expectations because you leave that expectations, the relationships will look what? So unreal, so fake. So fake it will look. It will show its original color. Like I say, the real taste of the food is when you eat without hunger. When you are not hungry, you eat. You will know the real taste of the food. With hunger, you eat doesn't make any difference. Everything will look tasty only. Same way here. That expectations. But we say it is unreal, sir. But can you actually believe it so? Do you believe it? Actually. Deep within, if you ask yourself, you will say what? That's not the way you live the whole day. This 1 hour you may say, yes, it's all unreal, Maya, illusion, it's all, thoughts. It's just, dream. This is not, that's all that we can talk. But essentially, we are not able to leave all those things. Why? Because I put conditions to life. What is the condition? The condition is something should happen a particular way. Or something should come to me. Either I say something should happen this way, or I say something should come to me. Nothing is going to be met. Imagine. When your relationship is not met, when the relationship is not meeting your expectations, then what happens? Friction. Same thing will happen when you go to God also. You will have friction with God also. You will start fighting with God. You will start, shouting at God. Why? Because your expectations are not met. I've done so much to you. So much I have done. This you can't listen for me. At least this you can't do for me. Okay, forget about doing it. At least acknowledge no. What is the expectations? At least acknowledge. It's a clear sign of what? No understanding of life. Now the moment you drop that expectation, there's no pressure on yourself. Right now, there is a tremendous pressure that you are experiencing yourself. Is why? Because of the expectations that you have on yourself. And that same thing you extend to others, the same thing gets extended to God also. It's the same thing. I have expectation on myself. I have expectations on the people around me, and I have expectations on God. But the rule of expectation will remain the same. What is the foundation for all that, sir? The moment you have these expectations, there is no, you get attached to it. There's only attachment. The mark of surrender, devotion, bhakti, all this, the first expression of that. When you say that I have gratitude, I have surrendered, I have devotion, I have bhakti, all these things, when you say, the test of that is the way it will express. What is the way it will express? It will express as service, sacrifice. The devotion will express as service, as sacrifice. But to do that, you have to drop that expectation. That is the problem. You see, now we cannot drop that. I don't have any expectations from anyone. Doesn't make any difference. The moment I leave all my expectations, what happens? I free the other person also. There's no expectations from my side, from others. You're free to function the way you want. Through giving freedom to you the way you want to function, I get the freedom to function the way I want to function. There's nothing fixed. Everything is so fluid. Everything is so open. But that's the nature of a wise man. The nature of a wise person. How do you know someone to be wise? A wise person is one who doesn't have any nature of his own. That's why very difficult to, we can stand at a distance from a wise man and live, appreciate. But you can't go close and live with a wise man, because there will be so much of contradiction in him. Chameleon, changes colors, isn't it? Like, he will change colors even much faster than that. Because first person comes, he will say one thing, and he just walks out. Next fellow comes, asks the same question, exact opposite answer. Swamiji, this is the thing. Now, what are we to do? He'll say, how can you do such a thing? Blah, 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 blasting him. Fire the fellow to, almost he will go to the room and hang himself. To that extent, it will appear. Same thing, next appointment. Same problem, same thing. Next fellow comes and asks. He says, these are all part of life, you see. Just ignore it, leave it, it's okay. You want to have no big deal. You want to have a chocolate, have chocolate. No, so what? Is it crime to have a chocolate? Yeah, all that they are asking is, I want to have a chocolate. Have no. If you are to be standing there and observing both, you are finished. You can't take it. Now, what is the sacrifice, sir? In a relationship, you wanted to have a proper relationship. There's only one way to have harmony in relationship. People ask, how to have harmony, sir? There's only one way to have harmony in relationship. Develop your willingness to sacrifice your nature for others' nature. That's the only way. There is no other way to have a harmony in relationship. Any relationship. be it, personal, be it, social, whether it is country, states, international, anywhere you go, you want to have a harmonious relationship. You must develop that capacity to sacrifice your nature for another person's nature. And then comes the moment you do it, you will be shocked with something. You will encounter a staggering reality of life which we cannot digest. That we resist. That's where the whole problem is. See, the first point is not a problem. First step all of us will do is exactly first day everybody goes to gym. See, New Year resolution we take and you go to gym. First day you go to gym. That's not a problem at all. To go to gym, the second day is the problem. See, same way in life also, the first step is not a problem. Second step is I am willing to sacrifice, and you do sacrifice. The moment you start taking the path of sacrifice, you come to a realization that it is a one-way track. You see, it's a one-way track. That's where the problem is. That we cannot digest. You say what? Yeah. Now I have sacrificed today for you. There is no pizza Friday. So Friday I sacrifice, Saturday you sacrifice. One day I do, one day you do. In sacrifice, there is no such thing. In sacrifice, from the beginning till the end, what is it? Single track. One-sided only it is. You can never have two-sided. And that's where the problem is. At least acknowledge, we say. Like this husband and wife, they go for a wedding. The husband says, I don't want to come for this wedding and all that. You go. Like, teens and all, they take them for weddings and all. You ask them, if you have a teenager in the house, ask them, would you like to join? We are going for this. I'll say, you go, I'm not coming. I'm not coming, you go. And then, one day they say, okay, I'll come with you. And they come with you and they sit and keep fiddling with the mobile phone. PUBG they are playing. Where in a wedding hall, they are sitting and playing. And the mother tells the child, இதுக்கு நீ வந்திருக்கவே வேண்டாம். For this, why you came for this, with such a long face, putting up such a long face, it's, it is better you wouldn't have come itself. Better know that is. And this fellow gets more angry. Why? Because as far as she is concerned, as far as the teen is concerned or the husband is concerned, he has performed such a great sacrificial act of what? I have condescended to come for this wedding with you. And you are criticizing for that. Instead of appreciating me and saying, wow, what a great act, what a great expression of love I have towards you. For your sake I came, not for that fellow. I don't want to come. I came for you and you are getting angry with me for that. This is what life is. It all happens. And it's a tamasha. If you are objective enough, it's a tamasha. The problem is you can't be objective. It's difficult to be objective there. It's just a great game. What is it, sir? You sacrifice immediately. The stance is, I must get something in return. Minimum thing is acknowledgement that I have sacrificed. Minimum is recognize that. But the truth of life is, it is one-way track. Swalpamapyasya, he says. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya. Trayate mahato bhayat, he says in the Gita. You practice this even a little, Arjuna, mahato bhayat. It protects you from what? Great fear. All that you have to do is one. Little you have to practice. That's all. Not that you have to practice it like huge one. Swalpam, he says. Very little. Very little sacrifice you do. Little expression. This expression of sacrifice and service should start from whom? Start from where? It's like piecemeal distribution they have, no? In accountancy, there's a system. They find, when you apply for insolvency, little money that you have, they have to repay. The repayment would be given based on the proportion of the debtors, the creditors, those who have given credit to you. A fellow who has given 10,000 rupees to you, and there is a fellow who has given 10 crores to you. You can't say both the fellows will get equally 1,000 rupees. That cannot be the case. Proportionately, it has to be paid back. Same way, proportionately, who has given you a maximum benefaction? From where you have received maximum? Settle that first. That expression with that understanding and this emotion, that constitutes bhakti. See, that's why he's giving a big paragraph of explaining so much you have got. Oh my God. Any one factor, imagine they have to send a bill to you. Right? For any one of them, if they have to send a bill, you can't pay the bill. All that you are enjoying and you are totally oblivious to it. You are totally ignoring that. Is move, recognize, don't hide yourself, don't fool yourself. Understand that and start putting in that effort appropriately. That appropriate effort has to come in, without which it would be almost impossible for you to live your life, he says. Now, explaining that is what he is giving the idea. So far, what he has given is two aspects. One, what are the wrong practices of bhakti? Two, what is the right approach to bhakti? What is the right way you have to go about bhakti? Bhakti constitutes of two dimensions to it. So those two aspects is given. So what are the wrong aspects he has given first, and what is the right approach? Now he is giving the next idea of who is a bhakta. Yes. Because you can't be giving a certificate to yourself. Now, if we were to be asking, every one of us will put ourselves as what? Okay, I'm not as good as Kabir and Mirabai and Tyagaraja, but number two. They will be number one. I am number two. This is what every one of us will bracket ourselves. Now, similarly, when we go to Jnani also, we will say what? Yeah, of course, Ramatirtha, Ramana, and all belong to that category. I am number two. Next one would be me. That's about it. We are humble people. Humility. We will say we are number two, sir. That's about it. Otherwise, we are number one. The Karma Yoga will be the greatest Karma Yogi ever existed in the world. Bhakta means you say, now Bhakta, who is a Bhakta? Certificate should be given by whom? God should give that certificate. Now, that's what he is giving here. The embodiment, the perfection, best expression of God, Krishna, is a perfect Purna Avatar, he said. He has given that, and that's what he is explaining here. To attain God realization, a devotee must qualify himself with sterling qualities. The Bhagavad Gita, in its 12th chapter, verses 13 to 20, enumerates 35 divine qualities that constitute a true devotee. For a detailed study, you may go through the author's commentary on the Gita. However, a brief statement of those qualities is given below for your ready reference. So don't expect me to explain that. Okay. Right. You just have to go through it, that's all. Hates no being, friendly, compassionate, not possessive, free from egoism, balanced in pleasure or pain, forgiving, ever content, uniting with self, self-controlled, of firm conviction, mind and intellect dedicated to self, who does not agitate the world, who is not agitated by the world, free from joy, envy, fear, anxiety, free from want, pure, dexterous, unconcerned, untroubled, not arrogating any activity as one's own, neither rejoices, hates, grieves, desires, balanced in pleasant or unpleasant happenings, alike to friend, foe, heat, cold, joy, sorrow, honor, dishonor, free from attachment, equal to censure and praise, silent, content with anything, free from possessions, firm-minded, endued with faith, regards self as supreme. These are the 35 qualities is given. Now, you can't be going into the details of each quality. Now, if I start explaining each quality, then this portion itself will be stuck in page number 214, 215 for another 1 year. Right? So, you can't be doing all that. That's why he himself has given there. As this is given only as a reference to you. See, these qualities, be careful with these, qualities when you are studying. These qualities were given to you not for bracketing people first. Remember, first mistake everyone will make is immediately we will start, bracketing people. Is he that? Is he this? Is he this? And all those things. Now, if any one of you are, wanting me to deal with any one or two qualities, we can deal with it. Because don't give me the choice. Because if you give me the choice, I will do the whole thing. Right? And just can take up something and do it. If it is needed. Otherwise, what you have to understand is these qualities were given to you to put in a direct effort, not in terms of practice. Remember that. This is not given to you for you to decide which quality I'm going to be practicing now. Never do that mistake. Now, a lot of people I've seen, getting into this idea of wanting to jump into the practice of these qualities. You see, I wanted to practice it. This practicing will not help, because practicing will make you has a flaw. There's a problem with that. So don't go for the practices of it. Then what are you supposed to do, sir? Get on with the understanding of those qualities first. Or try to understand them first. Like attachment. Don't immediately start thinking in terms of, am I attached? There all I am attached. How can I get detached? How can I practice detachment? No. Don't jump into that side first. mistake people do when it comes to these things in the spiritual practice, in the spiritual path, is develop a keen appetite for practicing straighten. And we have some, strange philosophies also. 1 ounce of practice is so superior than tons of knowledge. You can practice only what knowledge you carry. When you are carrying a flawed knowledge, your practice also is going to be what? Flawed only. You can't practice what you are not knowing, what you have not understood. So don't make that mistake. These are all errors people do in particularly these qualities. That's why I'm little scared to even explain it more, because more we explain, more people will start getting inspired to say, okay, now how am I to practice unconcerned, udhasina? I'm going to be practicing udhasina, unconcerned. You'll become indifferent. You'll not become unconcerned. You'll become indifferent, because you can't distinguish between what is unconcerned and what is. Like I just telling, a wise person is one who doesn't carry anything of his own. Therefore, he will keep changing colors depending upon who is coming. So one day he will do like this, one day he'll do. Now for us, he will look very fickle. He will look very impulsive. Now, you also behave like that. You also keep changing, he also keeps changing. So therefore, how are you going to understand? In fact, you will appear far better. Why? You are more consistent. There's no consistency in him at all. There's so much of fluctuations you will see. You can't digest it. Now, what is your understanding of a wise person? What is your understanding of wisdom then? What is your understanding of this? So don't jump into practices before you get sufficiently grounded on the theorems. Don't jump into solving problems. That's how we study mathematics. Now, how we study? A good mathematics teacher is one who will give problems only to make you understand the theorems better. That's about it. Now, he will never give problems independent. That's what happens to all the students. After examination, you ask every child coming out of the examination, you ask them, Max, this one, and all those things you ask them. They'll say, out of portion they've asked. So the student knows better than the teacher. Why they say that? Because the nuances of the theorem he understands, or the student understands, through that particular problem solving. Through that particular problem, only one facet of the theorem is explained. But it has other aspects also. There are so many other things there. Those things the child will never get to know that. So if his understanding of the entire theorem is going to be with reference to that particular problem solution, anything other than that comes up. Now, this subject is what? Knowledge of life and living. And life, you can never prepare. Isn't it? Can you prepare for your life? You can never be prepared for your life. You can live for 10,000 years also. You can't say, sir, our lifespan is very short. That's why it is. You can live 10,000 years, but still you can never, because life will throw a new situation in a new way. Never there is a repetition. Life never repeats. There's no repetition at all. Every day it's new. Now, a blind person is one who will say, like, first time, we shifted to Mylapore. We saw the beach, very close to the beach, we were. So once, I decided to go for morning, jogging, exercise. Suddenly we got, the teenage, we get that, thought, no? So whether we got, I said, I told my friends, we'll go in the morning. So we'll take a cycle, go and put that cycle near that lighthouse. From lighthouse, we will go up to Gandhi statue and come back. That's all. Not a big distance or anything. From there to Gandhi, statue and come back. That's about it. First day we went. We had more time, because first time always enthusiasm, more enthusiasm. So we reached. I said, hey, we can go near that waves, beach. We'll go in near the waves, and from there let's see the sunrise. It's so beautiful, no? We'll see that sunrise. I said, okay, we'll go there. We went. And it was really beautiful. We really enjoyed. And of course, we overshot and we got delayed and we came running and, came back to the house, in the name of Shar, we did something. We entered the bathroom and came out. Rest to the school, we finished the thing, and evening, talking, gossiping, all that is done. And the night and next day we had to go, we went. Again, we went up to that Gandhi statue. I told my friend, hey, sunrise paglama. And that fellow gave a beautiful reply. Adha netike paatome. He says, can we go and see that sunrise today? He said, yesterday only we saw, no? This is Rajinikanth movie or what? Huh? Basha, any number of time you watch, same thing only. Same song only is going to come. Now you can't be changing that. Finished. Now that's not the case with reference to sunrise. You sit and make a note of sunrise. Every day is different. You will never get that same again. Life throws things at you. Every day is different. Situations you can never be prepared for them to meet. And what do you have to understand, sir? Now you are going to practice. Don't go to practice these qualities. These qualities are to be understood as theorems first. Don't get into this idea of how am I going to be implementing it in my office? How am I going to be implementing it in my life? And your argument will be what? Sir, after all, we are studying it only to implement. No. Imagine you are never going to implement, then why are you studying? Like all these engineering fellows, they say, you have studied this one, that one, all those things. Finally, what are you implementing? Excel only. Isn't it? Now, Excel sheet is what you are working with the rest of your life. For that, you got to understand why you have to study, integration, differentiation, this one, that one. All that you have to study for what, sir? You study all those things only to implement. No. This is our argument. We say yes, but how that you have to go about it is not by developing a keen desire to implement it. Develop a keen desire to understand the theorem first. Never ever try to understand these concepts through your life situations, through the examples, because you can never get it. And the tragedy is 9 out of 10 you can connect. You see, 9 out of 10 you can connect. You'll be able to practice. You'll be able to do things. But that one facet which you have missed, which you didn't, will destroy all the 9. That is why we say you can solve. Now our argument is law of average. 9, no distinction, sir. In life, I am getting distinction. Life is not distinction. You are zero. Life is exactly like you are attempting to cross a well which is of 10 feet. Imagine if a fellow says, I have come up to 9 feet. Where will he be? Another fellow says, I have come up to 2.5 feet. Where will he be? Both will be in the same position only. Inside. Not cross. They'll die. That's about it. They are not going to be saving themselves. You have to save yourself. You have to cross the entire 10. One leap. You have to cross the entire 10. Now you can't say, I will do it stages. That is why Vedanta says, don't jump into practicing these qualities. Hates no being. Adveshta sarva. Now from today onwards, I'm not going to hate everyone. I'm going to love everyone, sir. Now tell me, give me the technique to love everybody. The one who is not attached. Yes. Don't do that mistake. Try to understand how attachment works. What happens when you get attached? How attachment is causing, developing, resulting into a loss. It's not that attachment, loss. No, it's all stages. It goes through very many stages. At every stage, what is happening? At every stage, what is happening? You should be able to recognize that first. Instead of understanding this, we straight away jump to saying, I should get detached. Now tell me the technique of getting detached. Because Bhakta is one who is not attached, he says no. So what I'm going to do? I'm not going to be attached anymore. From today, I'm going to be detached. From today, I'm going to practice, maunam. Keep quiet. Where you are going to keep quiet? This man, they're quiet, but they ask everything, through sign only. Like this man, who was introduced to this Mauni, Mauna Samya. Took the fellow, introduced him. He is working, where he is working? Philips Shave. He is working in Philips, shaver company. He is working there. He is a distributor. He says, give me one Philips Shave, he says. You can ask directly. Now, why you have to, do all that natak, You can ask straight away, no, what is the problem, man? No, but he is a Mauni, so he will not ask. You can't be, you start practicing all these things in the wrong way and in the wrong manner for the wrong things. Your conclusions will be wrong in life. Therefore, don't jump into the practice of these qualities, please. You see, first, put in your effort to get yourself grounded on the theoretical understanding of these concepts first. What is the meaning of Adveshta Sarva Bhutana? What is the meaning of Maitra? What is the meaning of Karuna? What is this Kshama, forgiveness, compassion, friendliness? What is the meaning of all this? How does it express? From where it comes? What is the development of that quality? What it means, first of all. Try to pay attention for that. Don't jump into the practices of it. Of that, he is taking one of the qualities and explain. But please remember, the warning is this. There are two warnings we have here. Warning number one is these qualities are not to be used to branding people. Is he a bhakta or not? Immediately you take these things and find out how many qualities he has. This is not for that, number one. Number two, this is meant for you. When we say it is meant for you, not meant for you to be thinking in terms of how am I to practice each one of those qualities. This is meant for you to think over, to reflect on, pay attention more with reference to reflecting on this. I have not reflected on this, then it's a problem. You see, you have to reflect on it. Now you may say, sir, I've heard it many times. Why don't you explain? I will explain. There's no problem at all. You will hear it. More and more you keep hearing. All that is going to happen is it will go and sit in your memory. That's about it. It will become part of your memory system. You will get memorized. It is practical. Remember, it's not that the subject is not impractical. The title itself is Practical Vedanta. It is practical. But remember, you have to make it practical by getting grounded on the concept. By itself, it's not practical. That is what the problem with Vedanta is. Problem with Vedanta is, on its own, is it practical? No, it's not. You have to make it practical. How? By getting yourself grounded on the theoretical understanding of these qualities, these concepts of Bhakti. What it is not, what it is, and what is the way that Bhakti manifests. In all these aspects, you should get grounded first. So before you get grounded on the theorems, don't jump into problem solving. Okay, that's the warning. So go through it. And as he has recommended, if you want to get more understanding of these qualities, you can refer to that portion of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse 13 to 20, in the commentary. You can see that. There he has explained. So go through it. It will give you food for reflection. But you have to reflect on that. No, you can't be reading that again. By reading, nothing will happen. Reading will give you that input, basic information you will get. And then you have to reflect. Then you get grounded. When you get grounded on this understanding, from there, you make it practical. Right? Before that, don't try to practice. That's the warning. Okay. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you. Hari Om.